In this discussion, we wanted to brush over some ideas on taking your own intuition and your own thoughts into consideration about your life, as opposed to worrying about what everybody else wants for you every single second. So I wanted to turn it over to you. I know we all have some stories on listening to our own intuition. So.
Yeah. One of my really good friends, I'll share a story that one of my friends went through. She unfortunately lost her husband unexpectedly. And as she was dealing with this and going through her own emotions, she kept her feelings inside. She felt as though she had to look strong on the outside, that she really couldn't be open and honest with everyone around her. And so she was more concerned with how people would judge her and what action she should or shouldn't be taking. And it kind of it boiled up inside her. Like she had those very few people that she could communicate with, but at the same time I could tell she wanted to be open and honest, because she was almost living a lie on the outside. Like, oh, everything's fine, but then really when she was alone was the hardest part.
Yeah, so she was really kind of dealing with that tragedy by almost, the tragedy that she was going through, she was dealing with it by just denying her feelings in front of others, and then just sort of sulking in them when she was alone. So she was never really letting she was worried that people were going to think that she was, forget what she thought they were going to think. She was worried they were going to think something.
Yeah. And
she was basically adjusting her actions and her behavior towards them in a way that would, in her mind at least, please them and ease their expectations and thoughts. But by doing so, she was neglecting her own self-care.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she was boiling up inside and at night and having a really tough time with the situation as a whole, let alone having to add that whole other element where it's like, oh, I'm afraid of what this person's going to think of me, or is it okay that I'm doing this? Are they going to think differently? So it's like you've really just got to not care what other people think and live your own truth and be true to yourself and your feelings.
Yeah, I think, this particular friend, and I know exactly who you're talking about, it's been a great lesson for you and I. When you watch somebody else dealing with a massive adversity and kind of reinventing themselves in their life, you suddenly realize that people are going to have opinions about things, especially when something drastic happens and when you're taking drastic action to rectify or heal yourself. And you have to listen to others. You definitely have to process what they're saying. Some people have some great advice, right? There's some people who have walked the path before you. But that's the key, is figuring out who has walked the path before you, and taking those opinions that you believe are good opinions, good advice, and processing them against your own intuition. Like not ignoring, if somebody else has walked the path for you, but they have a different life than you have, you still have to listen to your own intuition, what you want for yourself, what you think is best, what feels right in your gut.
Yeah. Well, you can't let other people's opinions dictate what you're going to do or your decisions for your family and your situation.
Yeah, and there's a lot of new research in positive psychology about gut feelings that that we've read, and intuition, and there is there's kind of the logical thing, that this logically looks right, and then there's my gut's telling me to go this way. And a lot of great breakthroughs, whether it's healing, after a tragedy, whether it's success, achieving some major goal, a lot of times has to do with that gut feeling. It has to do with listening to one's intuition. Yes, taking logical, calculated steps, but not just relying entirely on, what logic tells you, this will be good, this will be bad. It's a lot of it has to do with at least spending enough time with yourself to say, okay, we've got some data out there. What is my heart telling me? What is my intuition really saying about this situation?
Well, and most of the time too, with these major life situations, most of the people that you're worried about, their judgments and their thoughts, have never even been in that situation.
Oh, vast majority. People love to pass. That's one huge thing. It's something that we all get caught up in. Is people love to pass judgments. And the friend's situation that you talked about, I think that was the biggest takeaway for me was oh my goodness, this person is doing X, Y, or Z, but I've never been in that situation. Like, I have no clue what they're going through. I can assume, and I can think about everything that I know from my life and everything that I've seen on TV and presume to know what the best path forward is. But that's all just, it's an illusion to me. It's not real. The reality is, I don't know because I haven't walked in that set of shoes. Yeah. I have not been exactly where this person's going or where they've been, And so, therefore, my opinion, my judgment, it isn't valid. And so that was the biggest takeaway for me, is realizing, gosh, I better not be judging other people in that way. But now, for this particular discussion and this lesson, it comes back around to saying, okay, well, if you realize that you shouldn't be judging other people in this way, then when other people are passing judgments on you, like Angel said, have they walked your path? Have they been in your shoes? I mean, how similar is their situation to yours? Is their opinion, how much water does their opinion actually hold? Yeah. I mean, it's incredible. And the other part of this too, though, is hurting other people, right? Like, if my opinion of something that I want to do actually hurts somebody else, that's one thing. But if it doesn't, is there any flaw in trying to go against the grain? Is there any negative? Like, if mom and dad, sister and brother, husband, whoever doesn't want you to do something, but it's something small and it's for you, and it doesn't really affect them too much, it's not hurting them, then why not give it a shot?
I mean, the only negative comes back to you. You're the one that ends up being hurt because you're not following your true self. You're letting other people dictate. So if they don't want you to do it, it's one thing. If you're hurting them, it's another thing. But if you're really just not doing it because you're afraid of what they'll think or their judgments, you're really only hurting yourself.
Yeah. As soon as you let that fear of being judged get in the way of your own best interest, but more importantly, your mind's eye, your intuition. I'm more worried about what someone else thinks than I am about what I think about myself and what I should be doing. That's the big no-no. And that's the question we've got to ask ourselves, Is somebody else's, is my thought process about what somebody else wants from me actually determining what I'm going to do? Like, am I putting somebody else's opinion above my own opinion of myself and my own life path? I think that's a clear distinction. When the answer is yes too often, then you need to make a change, and you take into the people's, take the opinions of the people that matter into consideration, but don't put their opinion above your opinion. That's, Yeah. Anyway, I hope this little discussion has been helpful to you. That's a wrap, and we'll see you in the next lesson.